Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Good afternoon, sir.
So, how are we doing today?
Very good, sir.
Great. So, who can remind us what were we doing yesterday? What did you do in the class yesterday? And after the class then?
Sir, we had divergence session, and we discussed on various problems in this session to try to come up with a solution.
Oh, okay. Okay. So no, we are not trying to come up with a solution in this session today. Okay. So what we did was we identified major themes, a few major themes on which we said there are problems and we would want to find a solution for them. And we ran a set of brainstorm sessions. So what was the brainstorming method that we used?
So use of a superhero to think beyond to think beyond our imagination, like that.
Yeah, we use the method called think like someone else, where we said that we think as if we are a superhero, or we think as if we are a some bigwig with a different ideology than the person that we ourselves are. What was the benefit of thinking like a superhero?
So pre-assumptions about what we can do and what we can achieve were taken back because we had like unlimited resources in our power. So even the ideas which we thought would be quite stupid if we said out loud in normal scenario, we could easily say them out loud.
Yeah. So exactly what we said was that when we think like a superhero, first our limitations as a human being, or the limitations that the technology today may have, we have kind of set them aside. We kind of bypass, we kind of go beyond the block of creativity which links to knowledge, or this is how things are done here, or stuff like that. Are you with me? This was what we did.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Then what else did we do? What does this technique help us to do in addition to this?
Synthesize ideas. Synthesize.
Okay. So after
So
having
also
sorry?
kind of helped us in identifying the major problems that could occur and in that particular scenario that we were trying to solve, since we had no pre-assumptions or based assumptions of what can be achieved or not can be achieved regarding technology and resources. We could actually identify the actual root causes of those problems which were not allowing us to achieve those things.
So what we were able to do was we are actually able to completely so many limitations that we are aware of in our day-to-day life, we were able to kind of surmount them, bypass them. Whether they were emotional blocks or fear of failure or what others may think, anything. We simply said, okay, these are the ways it could be solved. Now, whether they are implementable or not, we do not know yet, but these are the ways. Then after that, what we had done was we synthesized these ideas so that these ideas would now appear to us as product ideas or service ideas or startup ideas, to speak of it slightly differently. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And then after the class, you had put your ideas onto this sheet. Which sheet? I'm putting that link in the chat window. So now what we do is, in today's class, we will first look at some what do you say, an additional concept called cause-effect chain analysis, which is a part of problem identification step only. And then we will go to this sheet. We will probably, you can decide to share more information about your projects. Then all of us will form teams, okay, project teams. And in those project teams, then we will do another kind of a brainstorm method called silent storming, where each one of us will use a virtual board on this website. You can either share a screen or create something of yourself, or you can use a virtual board on this website, Miro.com. So you can all collaborate on it, and you can identify for your team what is the project idea that you would want to take further in this course. Okay, so that is what we are going to do today. We are first looking at a few more additional concepts of how to further zero in on a problem, and then we will move into the breakout rooms. Breakout rooms will also then be our project teams from now onwards. Is that okay?
So will project teams be decided by you, or we can make it ourselves?
So there was a very strong feedback or suggestion that let's do it randomly in the class itself, simply because what happens? This way we will be variety of people working together. Otherwise, we may just end up, forming a team with 2 or 3 of us who we know, 4 of us who we know, and then the different perspectives that we would really want in a creativity session would not be there. They will be there, but if you randomly make them, the probability of having more variety is higher. So we will randomly create the teams today. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So just give me a moment. Let me move to the slides.
So this random creation of teams will be for today's class activity, right? Not the final course project.
And so also, I don't think so all the students in the class are like you'll be able to make a cohesive teams of all students combined here.
I know. So what we will do is today we will just distribute us amongst distribute all of us into, let us say, something like 10 or 11 teams. Students who are not here, and they will join one of the teams later.
Okay, so got it.
Okay. So yes, we will now look at another aspect of problem identification. So let's just go back a little. We discussed that in terms of product innovation, there are 3 stages, clear stages, in which we divide our tools. One is problem identification, second is problem solving, and third stage is concept substantiation. We also discussed when we were talking about TRIZ that there are multiple kinds of tools that we would use that we can use for problem identification. Tools like function analysis, flow analysis, all that we talked about then in that initial presentation. Today we are entering into this tool, cause-effect chain analysis. Okay. In terms of solution finding, again, we had talked about many tools. We had talked about inventive principles, standard solutions, and so many things. We will use all of them later. Okay, many of them we will use later in the course. And then concept substantiation, we will talk about secondary problem solving, because you did the brainstorm yesterday and you came up with some solutions. And you know that there are some problems that are associated with each of these solutions. How to solve those secondary problems? Then we will look at idea substantiation, adding more meat into the idea, and super effect analysis as to how the overall ecosystem can benefit by this solution, concept evaluation. So that is the third stage. Today, we are entering into, as I said, cause-effect chain analysis method of problem identification. What do you think cause-effect chain analysis? This is an English phrase. What do you think it would mean? What, according to you, could cause-effect chain analysis mean?
So
Sir,
when there is a problem, like in organization or any problem that we are facing, so we just need to like analyze that what is the cause behind that problem, and how that problem, if you are not going to solve that problem, then how this problem is going to affect in future actually.
Okay. So in a sense, what you're saying is if there is a symptom that I am seeing, I want to go to the root cause of it. I want to diagnose why this problem is appearing. So I'm going to ask a few whys. Why this? Why this? Why this? And go to the root cause. So you will notice that this method is also called as root cause analysis or 5 whys or many other names across different frameworks. Agile would call it in one way. Kaizen would call it in a different way. Program management, Six Sigma would call it with a different name. But essentially, all the different problem identification tools, problem identification methods have some semblance to cause effect chain analysis of TRIZ in them. Okay. So cause effect chain analysis essentially is about looking at what are the key disadvantages that are there in any engineering system. So we're calling it an engineering system, but we will look at a few examples and you will realize that we're not limiting ourselves to engineering systems. Okay. And the problem that we talked about just now is called as the language. In this language, it is called as initial disadvantage. And the root cause is called as fundamental cause. So the CECA is a TRIZ tool which is used to identify fundamental causes or key disadvantages in any system given the initial disadvantage. So how do we do it? Just a quick overview. Disadvantages are identified through various methods. Okay. For example, we identified some disadvantage yesterday that, okay, this is a problem that we have. Today, when we enter into the situation, when we pick up some solutions, okay, I want to have a electric car. So why is not everyone having an electric car today? Why are people still preferring ICEs and not electric cars today? See, if electric cars were really the solution,
is not properly set up.
Yeah. So why is this infrastructure not properly set up? Why is this level of infrastructure even needed in the first place? You know, there are two different whys. Why is it not set up? That is one why which could take you to, okay, this is new. अब इसके लिए तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. But why is this level of infrastructure needed? If you ask this why, then you will arrive at some answers and you can ask further whys. So why is this infrastructure needed like this? Oh, because the range of EV is just 300 kilometers. Okay, why is the range only 300 kilometers? Okay, because the battery cannot store much more charge. That is one aspect. Another aspect is because the car consumes that kind of power. Now there are two streams here. You can further go down to why does the car consume so much power? So you say, okay, the engine needs this power or there is inefficiency here. And then you go to the other stream where you say, okay, the battery has this kind of a power density. Why is this kind of a power density there? Because that is the limitation of the material that is used. Why is this material used? Why is another material not used? So you can go to basic disadvantages, key disadvantages. Okay. When we say that, okay, so we will form a kind of a flow chart. Okay, this why, this why, this why. Answer to this why is this, answer to this why is this. And we will arrive at some key disadvantages. When these key disadvantages are taken care of, you will see that all the further disadvantages are anyways eliminated. See, if I can somehow increase the what do you say, the range of an electric car to, let us say, 700 kilometers, then a lot of infrastructure related challenges are already taken care of. Is it not? So a lot of them, I'm not saying all, but the problem on the other hand is significantly reduced. So cause effect chain analysis helps us identify what the root cause is and which key disadvantages, if I work on, will handle all the subsequent disadvantages that appear in the system.
क्लास वन तो करियो, सर तो बोल रहे हैं फ्रेंड
Okay.
बनाएगा तू चैट बॉक्स में क्लास वन तो करियो, तो लैपटॉप से देख रहा है या मोबाइल से देख रहा है?
Is that okay? Any questions?
सॉल्व तो करने लगा।
So this is one view of it, where we say that there is an initial disadvantage. And then we go down, kind of ask the whys and identify why this disadvantage exists in the first place. And then we go down, dig deeper, and arrive at some fundamental disadvantages, which are key disadvantages. Okay. What we essentially do is, from the initial disadvantage, when we start to go deeper, we also start to build this kind of a and/or map, where we say that this initial disadvantage appears when this disadvantage 2 is there and disadvantage 6 is also there. So if you have to solve this big problem statement, which key disadvantage would you want to work on? If this is the disadvantage map of the engineering system or a situation that you have at hand, which key disadvantage would you want to work on, or which key disadvantages would you want to work on, so that both initial disadvantage 1 and initial disadvantage 2 are taken care of?
4, 8, 10.
So
4, 8, and 10.
4, 8, and 10, or only 4?
No,
only 4.
only 4.
You see, there were 2 initial disadvantages. There were 2 major deficiencies in your engineering system, in your product, and there were multiple reasons leading to that. When you do a cause effect chain analysis, you can probably, now in this one, it seems there is only 1, but in your system, when you work on it, you may arrive at 2 or 3 key disadvantages that you need to solve. Okay, but in this example, for that matter, just solving key disadvantage 4, taking care of key disadvantage 4 would solve both the initial disadvantages. This clarity you get only when you make this kind of a map, and that is why we introduce CECA as a separate step, or as an important step in problem identification phase. Any questions till now? Okay. Yeah, Manav.
Sir, I did not understood why only removing 4 will remove all the disadvantage.
Okay. So if you remove 4, initial disadvantage 1 is taken care of. Is that evident to you?
Yes.
If I remove disadvantage 4, do you also realize that disadvantage 2 will also not happen?
Yes.
If disadvantage 2 is not happening, then what is the output of this AND operator there?
Okay, sir. I got it.
The output of the AND operator is 0. So initial disadvantage 5 is also taken care of.
Okay, so any solving disadvantage 2 or 6 would be the solution.
2 or 6. Yeah.
I mean, to
for
remove the
initial disadvantage 5, you
five,
want to
yes.
take care of either of 2 or 6. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I know. So that is what you meant by the operator AND. And if you have to handle disadvantage 6, which all key disadvantages you need to work on?
8 and 10.
Both 8 and 10. Both of them, not just one of them. Both of them have to be worked on so that disadvantage 6 is taken care of.
Yes.
Now, do I necessarily need to work on disadvantage 8 and 10, or can I also work on disadvantage 7 and 10? Or 7 and 9?
7 and 10 or 7 and 9 can also be worked upon.
So what has happened now? Now I have a choice of problems to work on to handle my final, or to handle my initial disadvantage. Are you able to see this?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Hmm?
Sir, you just said that we can also work with disadvantage 7 and disadvantage 9 instead of 8 and 10, right? So like if we do that, but still the key disadvantages still exist, so they might arise again. So then why would we work on 7 and 9 and not 8 and 10?
You tell me, why would you want to work on 7 and 9 instead of 8 and 10? Why would like, could there be a reason?
So maybe solving 7 and 9 is comparatively easy and quick
Yes.
than solving 8 and 10.
There is a ready technology available to solve the disadvantage 7. And if I solve 7, then 6 is automatically taken care of. Or if I solve 7 and 10, for example, 6 is automatically taken care of.
But
However,
sir,
when I was looking at initial disadvantage 5, there may be no existing technology to take care of it.
Sir, but 8 and 10 still exist. So
Let them exist.
They might again cause problems, no?
isn't disadvantage 7 would depend on key disadvantage 8 since the arrow is like,
Yeah. So key disadvantage 8 led to disadvantage 7.
yeah, so if we like are able to solve 7, we should be able to solve 8 automatically. That should also happen.
Solve 8 automatically, pata nahi. Let us look at it like this. I want to go to a height of 7 meters. I want to jump to a height of 7 meters, let us say, but I cannot jump as is. I need a trampoline to be able to do that. And the trampoline needs to be installed in some place and some stuff like that. Now, if okay, there could be so what do I need to be able to jump 7 meters? I need to have a trampoline which would kind of give me a lift. Otherwise, the disadvantage is that gravity is there. Gravity is there, which pulls me down. And the trampoline would kind of handle the disadvantage linked to me not being able to jump sufficiently from the table that I have. If I remove the table, so let us say my table, this was the table. I am standing on a table. I want to jump to some height, and this was the key disadvantage, gravity. Now either I go to a zero gravity situation, or I do something to the table. If I replace the table with a trampoline, the gravity still exists, but my disadvantage of my surface not offering me support to jump is taken care of.
So basically, like we have found a way around that. Like,
yeah, so I have not removed gravity. I cannot probably remove gravity at all. But there is a solution. There is a solution for disadvantage 7. So I use that.
Okay, I see.
Sir, here you are actually saying that key disadvantage 8 is not only the way to remove disadvantage 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is one of the ways.
But that was the most important, as you said.
So everything was happening because of gravity.
Okay.
If I go to a zero gravity situation, I will be able to jump 7 meters. Am I right? Then I will not need a trampoline.
Yes.
But I cannot remove gravity from Earth. The setting that I am in, this key disadvantage, I cannot remove. So what do we do? Let me work on some other disadvantage. So CECA then gave you not only a smaller list of problems to work on, but also it gave you multiple options of which problem to solve. And now you can choose the simplest ones to solve. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
So what we are saying is that, see, when we go to identify this key disadvantage, I said gravity over here. So what we are saying is that you should actually ask so many whys that you end up at a physical, chemical, biological, geometrical fact, something which is a fact. that many questions you should ask. That longer chain you should build actually. Where, okay, this is a geometrical fact. This is what we need. This is a physical fact. Gravity exists. Now अब gravity को मैं क्या करूं? कुछ नहीं कर सकता. So अब मेरे को किसी disadvantage पे काम करना है. But I have to actually go to that level of key disadvantage in my analysis. Are you able to see this? So while removing key disadvantage removes most of the disadvantages, it is not necessary that we remove only the key disadvantage. We could remove something else also, and that would work. Are you able to see this? Any questions?
I have a question.
Mhm.
On the last slide, could we also extend this argument to assigning weights or sensitivities to each of these boxes, saying that, okay, removing disadvantage 7 is very difficult as compared to removing disadvantage 3, or removing disadvantage 7 adds a lot of values compared to disadvantage 3, and
Yes,
we also take that
we
to that level?
can further enhance this. Yes. Why not? We can.
Okay.
But it is not necessary, Amit. We can do that. Yes, we will enrich the tool in that way. But we do that only if we really need to.
Okay.
No, because finally the intent is to solve the problem.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when the problem is not like a 1 and 0 problem, right? Like, for
Yes.
example, reducing poverty in India, for example. It's not a 1 and 0 problem. So
Exactly. So yes, in that case, at that time we will want to rank. Okay, this problem is this disadvantage. Solving this disadvantage has the maximum benefit.
Exactly.
Or solving this would solve 2 more disadvantages. It would solve 5 of them. So you rank them. That we can do. In fact, when we do function analysis, you will see that we will already rank. But in CECA, we do not usually talk about ranking. But we will already rank problems. We will already rank systems, and which systems to remove, which systems to keep, and which systems to work on. We will already do that. You will see we will do that.
Okay.
But we can bring that concept here also. So very true.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, we want to keep the invention process को जितना simple रख सकें उतना रखना है, because the process and the activity in itself is complex. So as simple as you can keep it, let us keep it like that. But yes, at times a minimum level of complexity may be needed, and that we should add.
But sir, you mentioned that this model gives us comparatively easier problems to solve. When we say the easier problem, aren't we already ranking them?
So we are not. So abhi when we are saying easier problems, Anshul, we are saying that okay, this problem is already solved. Probably we have a technology to solve this problem. The technology exists. That could be one way to say easy or not. But what Amit is pointing out is that there could be technology that would exist for, say, key disadvantage 4, 7, and 9, or 9 and 10 both. So which one to use? Should I solve 10 or should I solve 9 then?
Got it, sir. Got it.
Because I have a choice which one to solve. So then he's saying, should we not also rank between 9 and 10? And yes, we should.
Yeah, I think what I was also trying to say was that till now we've kind of limited to that. Okay, we're talking about 4, 8, and 10 are equally. We're saying all of them are 1, right? So if you solve only 4, that's better because we are just solving one key disadvantage. But imagine, I mean, what I was thinking in my head was that if the key advantage 4 is way too difficult to solve as compared to solving 8 and 10 together.
So not just 4, Amit. We say key advantages 2, 3, and 4 are already are all so complex to solve.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or to put it the other way, if solving 2, 3, and 4 won't give us a lot of value in terms of, let's just say, reducing poverty, which was like 5, then why then what's the point? I mean, that was the thought process I had.
Yeah, I agree. So over here in this map, since the operator is AND operator, so we are AND operator is kind of saying, okay, ye hata diya, to bhi the problem would go away.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
That is the
Yeah,
function
it
of
would
the
have
AND
been an OR
operator.
operator in that case. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
then it would have been an OR operator. Yes. Okay, so now let's look at the one example also. Let us say you're having a headache or someone is having a headache. So this is not an engineering system. We're not talking about you. So you ask why? Oh, because high blood pressure. This person has high blood pressure. That is where headache is happening. Oh, why is this person having high blood pressure? Because this person is taking excessive salts. Oh, why so much salts? Because of wrong diet. So now there was this headache. One solution was take Saridon right away. It would take care of your headache. But you know that high blood pressure still remains. Headache will come and go. But when you go do the cause effect chain analysis, you see that a permanent solution would probably come when you correct the diet. So do you realize there is a solution to headache? Take Saridon. There is an independent solution to high blood pressure, which is some medication for blood pressure. There could be an independent solution to excessive salts. Only eat boiled food, which would also mean diet आपने change कर ली. Let us look at another set of examples. Let us say we wanted to have a drilling machine which would run for 40k hours. But its average lifetime is 20k. So why is it happening? Okay, it is happening because of two reasons. Either the transmission breaks easily, or the motor breaks easily, or blah, blah, blah. Why does the transmission break easily? Because bearings are weak, or gears are weak, and so on. So you can, so what we looked at in the previous slide was a simple case. Over here, what we are looking at is a slightly more complex case where you are actually working on your problem set, exact problem, and trying to solve how to handle it. For example, if you come down here across this chain, you will see they are talking about the load, the gears are thin, or the load is thin, because of which the gears break. So you say that, okay, let me make the gears thick. There would be a different problem, that the secondary problem that would appear is as soon as I make the gears thick, the weight of the system increases, or as soon as I make the gears thick, the cost of the system increases. So then now the problem statement becomes how to make the gears thick without increasing the cost. And then this part of the system would be taken care of. Are you able to see this? So in reality, your systems will have lots of ORs instead of ANDs. But whenever there is an AND, you can always solve only one side of the story and not the other one. Are you with me? Any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I was kind of thinking that making this graph would be also kind of challenge, because I was thinking that one of the problem you gave in the our first class of creativity, that related to writability and write speed of a SRAM cell. So the existing problem was like putting body bias to those pull-ups and accordingly and carry out the write speed. But the problem solution was already existing, but no one found it out. But when we will represent this whole thing in the form of a graph, so how to represent those kind of conflicting things in form of a graph? Means I was not able to figure that out.
Yeah. So there are other tools for that, Devajit. This is not a solution finding situation yet. We are, as of now, in CECA, we are only identifying a problem. You're jumping the gun. You are looking for solutions. No, I'm not talking of solutions yet.
Okay, so let's say write speed is less, so I will just point it out to the load discharge rate or low charging rate of a particular MOS transistor, something like that.
There could be multiple reasons. Okay, why is the current of that transistor low?
Okay. because
When
the
you say
sizing.
because VDD is low, you may say the
Yes.
gate is driven to a low voltage, or because there is a small VDS.
Multiple reasons. I'm getting it.
You see, there could be multiple, and these are all ORs.
Yes,
Either of them could lead to this.
Yes, yes.
Hmm?
Sir, I had one doubt.
Yes.
Sir, isn't finding the cause part of solution only? Like when we try to find a solution, we also try to find the cause. So why is it?
If I say that air is polluted in Delhi in October, I find the cause to be parali burning. Is it also equal to solution finding?
No, but it can help in finding the solution.
So it's the process of problem identification, so that we arrive at a simplest problem so that we can solve it easily. But it is not solution finding. Are you able to see this?
Okay.
This is still identifying the simplest problem to solve. So we have one evident problem, which we call as initial disadvantage. Solving this initial disadvantage could be very complex. So I do not want to waste my time and energy solving this final problem only. Let me find the simplest problem that I could solve. That is what the role of CECA is. We will use more tools to identify simple problems. This is just one of the tools as of now. Okay. So this we have already done. This exercise we've already done. So what I now want you to do is, so any further questions on CECA? Because now we want to then start to do some silent storming, identifying problems for ourselves. Any further questions on CECA, please? Yes, समझ में आ गया. Okay, so if things are clear, then what we do now is we actually kind of will go into breakout rooms, and this sheet that I just shared with you, the Google sheet जहाँ पे आप लोगों ने, where you have actually brought together all your ideas in one place. This sheet, I would want you to go ahead and scan. Okay. So when you go into your breakout rooms now, what do? You first amongst yourself identify a theme that you would want to, or not even do that. Yeah, okay. So let's do that. We are going to enter into rooms where as of now around 5 people will be there. Okay, approximately 5 people will be there. And then you 5 people, because you are in the class today, you have the luxury and the advantage to identify what problem your team would want to work on as the course project. Okay, so how do you do that? You go to this Google sheet. You open the sheet and you see what are the product ideas or you know process ideas or whatever ideas have been listed by various teams for different problem statements on this sheet. And you identify 2, 3, 4, 5 जो भी आपको ideas अच्छे लगे, which you say that I want to work on this idea, I want to work on this idea, this idea also sounds interesting, this idea also sounds interesting. You go to Miro.com and open a collaborative workspace there. All the team members are on that collaborative workspace. You put post-its for your preference of ideas. You decide colors amongst yourselves. Amit says my color is yellow. Aman says my color would be red, or whatever. You choose colors for yourself, and then you put post-its on one whiteboard there. You do this. You spend say 20 minutes doing this. 20 minutes, that's a bit too much. Let's say you spend 10 to 15 minutes doing this. Then the leader of your team, identify one leader, then the leader of your team will keep the timing, and you enter into a discussion. You talk about, okay, these are the 4 ideas that I like, or you then upvote ideas amongst yourself, and you select one idea that you as a team would want to work on. you can also then start to do, why is this idea not a reality today? What are the problems? So you list down the initial disadvantages and start to ask those whys and go to the key disadvantage. Today, when you start to do it, I'm almost sure that you will not be able to arrive at the key disadvantage because you will not have lots of data with you. So now you have time from today until say Monday, next Monday that is, where you fish out that data and populate and kind of complete the CECA map for your problem state, for your product idea. Can we do that?
Sir,
Any questions? Yes,
sir, there
Manav.
can be many teams having the same idea then.
कुछ नहीं होता. So what? I assure you, by using this process of ideation and whatever we do, each team, even if all of you, I give just one problem, all of you work on clean air problem, you will still come up with different solutions. Okay. So don't underestimate the power of your uniqueness. All of us are unique, and the teams that we are forming will also be unique in their own special way. Okay. Also, if you have friends who are not in the class today and you have their contact information available with you, please feel free to call them quickly to the class so that they can also influence the project idea that they would want to work on. Otherwise, they will simply be added to one team later and they will not have that enterprising capability with them. Okay. So who can repeat what all we do when we go into the breakout rooms now?
So just a small thing which I think I want to bring out before we break into breakout rooms. Sir, can you
Yes,
please there are many people who are not comfortable with random teams.
I'm sorry, dobara se bolo.
There are many people who are not comfortable with the random teams due to the online semester. Because we cannot like meet in person and work together, because if we are in like a random team, there's a team bonding which we would like to have. But since we took the course making our own team, so I think we would prefer if we can make our own teams.
How big a team do you have in mind, Rajat?
I mean, before like it's something I would say a triple ITD concept. We take courses like with our friends, like we know that we are going to form teams together.
Also, sir,
Because-
one thing is that sorry to
No,
interrupt.
continue.
Like we had our own project ideas, our own startup ideas in mind that we wanted to work on. So that would be a problem if we form teams with randomly.
Okay. So how do we do it?
Yes, sir, please consider this request.
Yes, sir. It also
I
becomes
mean,
easier to communicate.
we have formed
we
teams.
can take a poll from the class, and if like whatever the majority is, we can continue with that.
Okay.
We
So
have formed teams of 5 to 6.
we are actually intending to form finally teams of up to 6 to 7 people, because you will probably want to run superheroes amongst yourselves for ideation at some point of time. You may want to run 635, or you may want to run some methods, some of these ideation methods amongst yourselves. So the teams are not going to be just 2 or 3 people teams. The teams are going to be big ones. That was one reason why I felt a random team could actually help, because it would bring in that variety there.
So, but it does not make the communication thing easier. It makes it more difficult. The
Yes,
first
sir.
10 minutes
And
goes in
when-
silence, that we don't know anyone in team and everyone is quiet and the
So
mic
that would
is
happen
off.
only today, no? Today, anyways, we are going to start with silent storming only. That is why.
No, sir. Sir, actually, in the online SEM, it becomes really difficult to collaborate. Like at times, people we are not able to pick a particular particular time slot when we are able to meet and discuss. Some people come, some don't. With our friends, we are like able to
So
better
we have the
manage
same
workload,
courses
I
as our
guess.
friends have. We have that pay decided.
So let us do it like this. On the same sheet that has been shared with you, I have added another sheet which is now called as teams. Project teams कर देते हैं इसका नाम.
Sir,
Okay.
just a small point to bring out as well. Like, I agree that 6 to 7 people are necessary in a team to, like, have those kind of activities like superhero or everything. But I really personally feel that
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
am I audible now?
You're audible now.
So like 7 people, if we are in an online sim, so it becomes very hard to, find a time slot where we can all meet together and have an activity. That's also a big challenge.
Yes, but that is okay. So let us look at it like this. I have just created this additional sheet on this Google Sheet. Huh? You form your teams on this sheet directly. I will use this set of names to form the breakout rooms today itself. Now, if you do not have a team yet, I know there will be some of us who do not know others. I definitely know, because there are people in this room I know who joined just this semester and so on. So you may not put your names here yet. And I will just add you to, for you anyways, it is almost like as good as or as bad as random teams. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So you don't worry about it. I will put you somewhere so that you are there in some team. Anyways, those of you who are, those people who are not here today are also in the same boat. They will be put in some team sometime. So we will do that. Is that okay? Does that solve the problem? All of you are busy filling that sheet now. Great.
If it helps people who are new, we could just write our name in a different column so that you can just copy
So
paste.
let's do that. Team new. I've just created this team new who are open to random teams. You can just list your names on this row. That's a good idea. Thank you, Amit. Those of you who are open to random team assignments, you put your names here. We will do something. We will assign you to the various rooms there. Amir, already, are you here? Who amongst the TAs is here?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm making you a co-host. Can you start to make breakout rooms based on the list given there?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, sure. That will be done.
Okay, Rebab, I'm also making you the co-host.
Yeah.
Okay, please, both of you start to create breakout rooms according to this list.
Yeah.
So friends, quickly populate karte jaye. Team 7 is almost complete. It has 6 people, so team 7 ka ban sakta hai. Team 9 is also almost complete. 5 people already, 5 names already there. Team 2 is also almost complete. So team new, let's go to another row for team new, friends. So Devjit onwards, we can go to the next row. So Amit, you move your name to a different row, row 4.
I don't do anything.
I see your name in row 4 now.
I have actually put the name. We did a activity in the breakout room in the previous class, so I think we can form a good team.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, Amit, you're the chosen one, huh? They still do not know about your schedules, which courses you are taking, but great.
Thank
The
you.
problems are already taken care of. So we cannot have very small teams. Anurag, Abhilash, we cannot have a team of just 2 people. So you can put yourself, Aman, Biman, can't work with just 2 people in a team. You both want to be in one team, please add yourself to that team new too.
Yes, sir. We have.
Is a team of 5 fine, sir?
Yeah, should be okay. You will not be able to do few activities, but that's fine. For those activities, you can bring in few extra people from somewhere. Add some random people to the team. Teach them also those brainstorms. But yeah, 5 is also good. But not more than 7. Okay. So once the team is complete, you can, yeah, ये green किसने डाला है?
सर जो टीम्स मैंने रूम
बना
बना
दी तुमने ब्रेकआउट रूम में, ठीक।
और सर टीम 7 में भुनेश का जूम पे नाम सही नहीं है।
Bhunesh, is he not in the class today? Someone else has put his name there. Is that the case? Yeah, then we can't add him to a breakout room just yet.
So sir, the final team size is 7, right?
5 to 7. So if you're adding your name in some other row, please remove your name from the previous location. So friends, what is the progress? Were you able to identify ideas in your teams with that you would want to work on?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes,
So
sir.
someone would want to share which product idea or service or whatever you guys have kind of zeroed in, even if it is 2 or 3, a list of 2 or 3 for now.
So we are expected to join another.
No, 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 no,
Getting an invite to join.
no, please don't join.
Okay.
Please don't join. You don't need to join the breakout rooms. Please be here. So I'm just asking some sample product ideas or process ideas, app ideas, and startup ideas that you could think of in the breakout rooms
Yes,
there.
sir. We have selected to like design an app where we can sell we can like create a connection between skilled workforce and those people who need them. So
Okay.
like if someone needs a carpenter or a plumber or say a mason, then he can just visit the app and get a list of all the people who are around him. Just like
Okay.
an Ola Uber system, but a more it will collect like contain more job profiles.
Okay, but how is it different from urban? क्या है? Urban Club? What's that?
Urban
Can you
Club,
spell
sir.
that?
Urban
company.
Sir, we think we want to localize to smaller markets also, where
Okay.
there are language barriers.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great.
That what I think it can be expanded upon.
Yeah. Great. So anyways, what you've actually zeroed in on is a solution already, but अभी हमें problem देखना था. Which problem are
Yes,
we
sir.
solving? You're solving the problem of hyper
Yes, sir.
local job
Visibility.
availability.
Yes.
Hyper local job availability. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What else? Who are like what product ideas
So,
or
so for our case, I mean, we have selected a problem of that Parali pollution thing.
okay?
So, sir, what I decided on is to connect it with another problem. Likewise, because sir, जो पराली होती है exactly वो सर एक मतलब जो जलाते हैं मतलब वो गेहूं का मतलब जो फसल होती है उसका basically stem होता है और एक simultaneously एक और problem exist करती है जो कि हम लोग use करते हैं plastic straws और paper straws को तो सर अगर exactly मतलब इन दो चीजों को अगर कनेक्ट करके देखते हैं तो मतलब अगर हम वो जो स्टेम है क्योंकि वो सूखी स्टेम होती है तो स्टेम को एज अ पॉसिबल वाइबल सॉल्यूशन अगर हम बना सकें एज अ स्ट्रॉज यूज करने के लिए तो सर ये बायोडिग्रेडेबल भी होगा और completely मतलब हम लोग alternative solution यूज कर सकते हैं
Yeah,
मतलब
yeah.
plastics के
So
लिए।
don't jump at solutions yet, Rajat. अभी हम problem की बात कर रहे हैं. So you identified the problem of this Parali wala thing. Now,
Yes.
as a team, you should do cause-effect chain analysis.
Okay.
Why is this being burned in the first place?
Okay.
It was not burned. So just to share with all of us, the Parali problem is there because in, I think, 2009 or 10, the governments of Punjab and Haryana changed a law, brought a law into effect, which said that you cannot sow paddy until middle of July, until monsoon sets in. Till that time, the farmers would sow paddy in, say, middle of June or sometime in end of May, and would flood their fields through underground water. Because the water table of Haryana and Punjab went low, this law was enacted. Okay, so when the paddy crop was planted in middle of June, or first week of June or end of May, it would mature by end of September. Now, since it is planted later, it now matures towards middle or end of October. When it matured in middle to end of September, there was still about 2 months of time when manual labor could be used to cut the stubble, and the stubble was used as fodder for livestock, which farmers need themselves. They need that fodder. But since now they did not have that kind of time, this stubble is simply burnt, and farmers purchase fodder for their livestock. It's a double whammy. It is a resource that they already have, but due to some reason, they're not able to utilize it. If you understand, if you go to why, that is where you will reach that there is this law that is enacted because of which this is happening. And you can't change the law now, because water is really a problem in that region. Okay, so we have to solve some other key disadvantage in this entire chain. And then you see, okay, when I'm solving, so when we go to the concept substantiation, that is the last phase of our course, that is when we will see, okay, these stubble, we will do something and we will use them as straws, or we would use that as fodder. That is concept substantiation, idea substantiation. Okay,
Yes.
that is that phase. You're jumping the gun. Don't jump the gun.
Yes.
Do the cause-effect chain analysis first. Then identify which problem to solve. Then you will come to a product. Then that product, we will see what else we can do with the product.
Yes. Okay.
Okay? Don't jump the gun.
Okay.
नहीं तो ये जो straws बनाने की बात है, वो अभी अगर if they were able to cut the stubble, they would rather use it for their animal fodder.
सर एक्चुअली मतलब जो मैंने देखा है मतलब ये तो जैसे मेनली अगर पंजाब और हरियाणा की बात होगी, बट क्योंकि ये चीज अब कंटिन्यू लोग कर रहे हैं यूपी में भी, क्योंकि इधर भी मतलब मैं देख रहा हूँ कि लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं इस चीज को, इस ट्रेंड को। तो अब क्योंकि होता क्या है कि पहले लोग क्या
So Rajat, हम बहुत ज़्यादा digress कर जाएंगे. I understand. What I am saying is, if you follow the process, you may arrive somewhere else, a simpler problem to solve.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So do the cause-effect chain analysis. That is what is important.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other ideas? Which other problems have you zeroed in on?
So how can we like start in the field of renewable energy? Like if we have to start, so how can we start? Like we are
So the first question can be, why is solar not the main source or the mainstay? If you want to work on, say, solar, or why is wind energy not the mainstay? Whatever renewable you want to work on, start with this question: why is it not widely available, or why is it not widely used? So
Okay.
उस why को answer करते करते you will arrive at some place where the technology problem would be there, and you would say, okay, let us solve this, or let us solve this problem. There could be a supply chain problem somewhere. You solve that supply chain problem.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Ask the why. That is what cause-effect chain analysis is very powerful. Why is this not happening? Okay, answer those whys then.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And we are not limiting you to these 14 statements that we gave yesterday or anything. You have another problem in mind that you want to solve, pick that up. Okay. What is most important is you should be passionate about the problem. You really want to work on that. You really want to solve that problem. That is what we are looking at. Okay. So Kalko, if you want to have a startup, you are open to having a startup that solves that problem. ऐसा passion होना चाहिए. Now PhD students will say हमें तो 5 साल के लिए यहाँ पे रोक लिया है. So you don't think of startups then. You can in parallel start to work on, use the same tools on your problem statement, the PhD problem statement that you have. Cannot be in these teams, but yeah, separately with your research guide or something. Okay. So anything else, any questions that you may have?
Sir, I'm
No, sir.
wondering when we are finalizing the thing, so how practical does it need to be? Because when we think about some practical solutions, not the problem right now, then more like we know that it's actually very hard to find something that is not being done. So are we look, yeah.
Yeah. So Pranay, we need to identify a problem that we really want to solve. Okay. Then you will see that the tools will take us to the simplest solution. If that simplest solution already exists.
Right. So is it fine if the solution to that problem already exists and we still
It is fine, but then we will look at other things as to how to improve that solution. The solution exists, but the problem also exists. Why is the solution not prevalently available? Let's say renewable energy ka tha. Now solar cells are there.
Okay.
Solution exists, but the problem is elsewhere. Why is it not reaching everyone? So that is where we will work then.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Sir, to what level of depth do we have to design our solution?
Finally, we will, okay, at the end of the course, we will make an entrepreneurial pitch.
Okay.
That's the thing. So you have to have all the facts and figures and numbers, everything in place later at that stage.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
So by meaning facts and figures, you meant like the solution that we would be proposing, what all would be behind making that solution true? Like facts and figures for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not just that, Lavanya, but also what is the scale of the problem? Okay, this problem is this big. This is because of this. So 20% is because of this, 15% goes here, 12% goes there, and so on. And then you say, because of this, then we did the CECA, we found this is the problem to be solved, we solved this problem. And you see, when we solve this problem, we are able to bring this kind of an impact. So this is the expected impact. So how is the problem? In a pitch, that is what you would want to sell. This is how it will solve. And okay, we are still in an ideation stage, or we do not have a prototype yet. So please, why don't you fund us for prototyping, making the prototype?
Got it. Sir.
Or if you are willing, I would say, just let me know. We can enable it from our incubation center that you want to do the prototyping within the coursework. Great, do that. App wala banana hai, so anyway, you don't need much cost. But if you even need to make a hardware prototyping, do hardware prototyping, we will enable that also. Uske liye we don't, there is no dearth of funds. So we can do that. Don't worry about that also. Okay. So what we really want is that an ENT stream course. If you want to come up with a startup idea, you have a startup idea, we would want to enable it in whichever possible way. Anything else? Great. So thank you guys. I would say that you work with your team members. You will need to sit again once or twice, identify those ideas in a little more detail, come up to the products, whatever it is, do the CECA in a meaningful way, so that next time when we meet and we do function analysis of stuff, you already have an engineering system in mind for which you would do that function analysis. Okay. All the best. See you on Monday then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
you.